Today our topic is ribs and vertebra. We have got 12 pair of ribs and 33 vertebra. That is the here 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral and 4 coccygeal. 5 sacral unite to form 1 and 4 coccygeal unite to form 1. Next 26, but you have to tell we have got 33 vertebra and 12 pair of ribs. Okay. Now the vertebra, they are differentiated. The cervical, thoracic, lumbar, they are differentiated on the basis of few characteristic features. That all the cervical vertebra, all 7 cervical vertebra has got one foramen in the transverse process. You can see this is foramen, one foramen in the transverse process which is known as foramen transversorium. In the thoracic vertebra, there is costal facet. Here you can see on the lateral aspect of the body, there is costal facet as well as on the transverse process. And in the lumbar, L for lumbar, L for large. This large vertebra is lumbar vertebra. As well as there is mammillary process. This superior articular process, the posterior end gives one projection, this tuberosity, that is known as mammillary process, which is only present in case of lumbar vertebra. So these are the differentiating feature. In between, how to differentiate between the cervical, thoracic and the lumbar vertebra. And the sacrum, we all know that they are all united, so it is easy to distinguish. And the coccygeal, 4 is united here. Okay. Now the examiner will ask you, what are the parts of vertebra? Okay. Vertebra has been divided into 2 parts, that is the vertebral body. This is vertebral body, and rest of the part comes under vertebral arch. Vertebral body plus vertebral arch. And vertebral arch comprises of 2 pedicles. These are 2 pedicles in between the body and the articular process. This connecting link is known as pedicle. These are 2 pedicles. Okay. And this is lamina. In between the articular process and the spinous process, this is lamina. One lamina and this is second lamina. Okay. So 2 pedicle, 2 lamina and 7 processes. That is 1 spinous process, 2 transverse process and 4 articular process, in which 2 are superior and 2 are inferior. So superior articular process and the inferior articular process. A total 7 articular process. Vertebral body plus vertebral arch. Vertebral arch comprises of 2 pedicle, 2 lamina and 7 processes. That is 1 spinous process, 2 transverse process, 2 superior articular process and 2 inferior articular process. Now the examiner will ask you, okay, these are the parts of the vertebra. Now tell me, how it lies inside the body? What is the anatomical position of a vertebra? Can you hold like this? No. First there is anteriorly placed vertebral body and the posteriorly spinous process. It is very clear to everyone. But there is a mnemonic, that State Bank of India Fund, SBIF, that is superior articular facet should face backward. SB, superior backward, and inferior articular facet should face forward. I can't hold like this, in which the superior is facing forward. No, superior should face backward. SB, superior backward, inferior forward. SBI fund. Okay. Now coming to cervical vertebra. We have got 7 cervical vertebra. They are divided into typical and the atypical cervical vertebra. Typical, which has everyone has got similar feature, they are considered as typical, and atypical are those which have got some unique feature in it. They are considered atypical. So first, second and seventh, they are atypical cervical vertebra, and the rest, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, those are typical. Why they are considered atypical? This is first cervical vertebra. Here you can see first cervical vertebra known as atlas. Examiner will ask you why it is known as atlas. It is named after a Greek god named Atlas, who holds the world on his finger. And the same way, it is holding a skull. That's why it is known as Atlas. This is the reason behind its name, its nomenclature. Now, what is peculiar about it? Why it is considered atypical? It is ring-like. There is anterior arch and the posterior arch. It is ring-like. There is no vertebral body. Like any other vertebra, here is the vertebral body anteriorly, but there is no vertebral body. One spinous process behind, but there is no spinous process in the atlas. It is ring-like. There is lateral mass. It is known as lateral mass on the lateral aspect. This is lateral mass. So these are the peculiarity of atlas. This superior articular facet of lateral mass articulate with the occipital condyle of the skull. Here is the occipital bone and these are occipital condyle. Here you can see these are occipital condyle, and this superior articular facet of lateral mass unite to form, or you can say articulate with occipital condyle to form the atlanto-occipital joint, which perform yes movement. Okay, and it is a condyloid variety of synovial joint. After that comes this axis, the second cervical vertebra. And what is unique about it? It has got one tooth-like projection. This is, which is known as odontoid process or dens. The examiner may ask, from where it is derived? It is supposed to be the segregated vertebral body of atlas. Very beginning, it is the vertebral body of first cervical vertebra. But by the time it's segregated from there, and now it is over the axis and known as dens or odontoid process. So this thing is very peculiar. And this atlas axis, they form a joint, atlantoaxial joint, which perform no movement, nodding movement. And this is a pivot variety of synovial joint. Always asked in the exam, atlantoaxial joint is a pivot variety of synovial joint. So, here is the transverse ligament of atlas, within which this dens works like an axis around which atlas rotates. That's why it is named axis. Okay? Now, there is one very important thing, that on the lateral aspect of dens, there is attachment of alar ligament or check ligament. We can't rotate head laterally. Pivot joint is what? जैसे चक्की गोल गोल घूमता है उस तरह के घूमना चाहिए, लेकिन साइडवेज इतना आगे रुक जाता है हेड, फिर लैटरली फ्लेक्शन रेस्ट्रिक्टेड होता है. क्यों? It is checked by check ligament. From here, lateral aspect of the dens going to the lateral aspect of the foramen magnum, there is a tubercle on its lateral aspect. There is LR ligament. And the examiner will ask you from where it is derived. It is derived from, it is supposed to be the remnant of notochord. Very important. LR ligament is the remnant of notochord. Now coming to the seventh. This is seventh cervical vertebra. How we will identify? This is foramen transversorium, so it is cervical and very prominent spine. Other cervical vertebra has got bifid spine. You can see there are two projections in the spinous process. This is bifid spine, as well as the triangular foramen and foramen transversorium. These are three characteristic features, but most important is the foramen transversorium. So here it is very prominent spinous process, which is known as vertebra prominence, due to which this vertebra is known as vertebra prominence. C7. Now, as this is very much prominent, the examiner usually asks what is the attachment over here, and it is the important surface landmark. We can count vertebra from there, above and downward. We can feel at the root of the nape of the neck, vertebra prominence. And there is attachment of Tarla Desai. There is famous cook Tarla Desai. TRLD. T for trapezius, R for rhomboid, L for ligamentum nuchae, and D for deep muscles of back. As this has got very prominent spine, so it is usually asked, what is the attachment over here? So it is Tarla Desai, that is trapezius, rhomboids, L for ligamentum nuchae, and the deep muscles of back. Okay? One very important thing, in between the vertebra, this vertebral body and vertebral arch, in between there is a foramen. This one. It is known as vertebral foramen. When vertebrae stack over one another, we can see this foramen turn into a canal. Now it turns into a canal. So examiner will ask you what structure passes from here through the vertebral canal. It is spinal cord, along with its meninges, anterior and posterior spinal vessels, and the nerve roots. Okay, very important. And also in the side view we can see that there is a foramen again in between the two vertebra, in between the inferior articular notch of superior vertebra and superior articular notch of inferior vertebra. There is a notch. This is known as intervertebral foramen, as it lies in between the two vertebra, so it is known as intervertebral foramen. Now examiner will ask you what structure passes from here. It is spinal nerve, as well as the radicular vessel. Spinal nerve above, radicular vessel below. Now coming to thoracic vertebra, which is known for their presence of costal facet. These are the costal facet. Here you can see by the side of the body this round facet, as well as on the transverse process. These are the costal facet for the articulation of ribs. Now you have to memorize how they are uniting. The examiner will say, now show me the union, the articulation, how it will articulate. So not the two adjacent vertebra give rise to articulate with one rib, like this. For making the concept clear, Suppose this costal facet, superior costal facet, inferior costal facet. This is big brother, superior big brother, inferior small brother, younger brother. Okay? Big brother has given a large chapati. You can see the facet, superior costal facet is large, whereas inferior costal facet is small. So, big brother has given, provided with the large chapati, and the younger brother, small brother, inferior brother, superior and inferior, has given a small chapati. So, superior one is happy and he is sad. So, superior will articulate with numerically corresponding rib. If it is, suppose that it is T4, 4th thoracic vertebra, so it will articulate with 4th rib. Numerically corresponding rib, NC rib, numerically corresponding rib. Often asked in the exam. Superior costal facet, as he is getting large chapati, he is happy, so it will articulate with numerically corresponding rib. And the smaller inferior costal facet, he is unhappy, he will articulate with the one rib below, inferior ribs. Suppose this is 4th thoracic vertebra, inferior costal facet will articulate with 5th rib, one rib below. This is the main funda behind it. Okay? And this costal facet on the transverse process is getting large chapati. You can see how large it is. So he is happy. So it will correspond with the numerically corresponding rib. Numerically corresponding rib, one rib below. Very easy to remember. Superior articular facet, superior costal facet, large. It has to be large. And the inferior one will be small. In every typical thoracic vertebra. And it is articulating every thoracic vertebra, articulating with the rib. So this is rib. The parts of rib, examiner will ask you, tell me the parts of rib. It has got head, posteriorly, head. The constricted part just in front of that is the neck. Then tubercle. This rough area, this is tubercle and this is shaft. Parts of rib, head, neck, tubercle and the shaft. Head has got 2 articular facet. Here you can see 2 articular facet. Only one thing you have to remember, that superior will articulate with inferior in the vertebra and inferior will articulate with superior. Like this. Superior will articulate with inferior and inferior will articulate with superior. Only this much you have to remember. Regarding its division, again thoracic vertebra. Thoracic vertebra, here you can see V for vertebra and it is supposed to be thoracic vertebra. And this is R for rib. Ribs. Both are divided, typical and atypical. Now how will you memorize the typical vertebra and the typical thoracic vertebra and the typical ribs? R for rib and R for Rakhi Sawant. Rakhi Sawant is 39-year-old. So typical rib is 3 to 9. V for vertebra, I am talking about thoracic vertebra. V for vertebra and V for Vani Kapoor. She is 28-year-old. So 2 to 8 is typical. Just to memorize. So rest are atypical. So 2 to 8, so 1, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the thoracic, they are, but in case of vertebra, they are atypical. In the rib, 3 to 9 are typical, that is 1st, 2nd, 10, 11, 12. They are considered atypical. This number, it is very important and you can memorize by this simple mnemonic. Now, the examiner will ask you, rib is a paired structure. So, how will you determine its side? So, laterally or externally, it is convex, and medially or internally, it is concave. I can't hold like this. It should be like this. The posterior end bear head, neck and tubercle, not the anterior end. So, I can't hold like this. It should be on the posterior aspect. Now, one thing about the superior inferior. The superior border is broad. Superior border of the rib is broad and inferior border is sharp. This is how we can determine its size.
Left.
Huh? Left side. Okay. Now the examiner will ask, show me in the anatomical position. Okay, this is of left side, but the anatomical position is the anterior end should be at the lower level than the posterior end. I can't hold like this. Anterior end should be at lower level. As well as anterior end should be slightly lateral than the posterior end. Because here is the sternum and this is the space for costal cartilage. So it has to go somewhat laterally. I can't hold like this. It is not attached here. There is in between there is costal cartilage.
Coastal card.
So the anterior end should be somewhat lateral compared to the posterior end. So this is the anatomical position of a rib. Very important. Now the examiner will ask you, on the internal surface of the rib, show me the very important structure. This depression. You can see this depression. This is costal groove. This is costal groove. It should be it should be near about the inferior border. है ना? ये ऊपर नहीं है, नीचे की तरफ रहना चाहिए. Costal groove should be near the inferior border. One thing. Another thing, the examiner will ask what structure passes from here. As this is the ribs, so making the intercostal areas. So intercostal vein, intercostal artery and intercostal nerve. So simple. Now they will ask what is the arrangement? Vein, artery, nerve. So from superior to inferior, it is intercostal vein, then intercostal artery and then intercostal nerve. Van. Superior to inferior. Like this. This is the model of rib as well as the intercostal muscles. And this is the external surface and this is the internal surface. Here you can see this white one. These are the costal groove. Within the costal groove, this structure, neurovascular structure passes. And what is the arrangement? From superior to inferior, it is van. First vein in the blue color, then artery in the red color, and then nerve in the yellow color. है ना? Again, they will ask you, what are the layers of the intercostal muscle? The neurovascular bundle lies in between which layer? So, in between the second and the third layer. This is first layer. This is second layer. First layer in yellow color. This is second layer in green color. And this is third layer. Neurovascular bundle, that is this nerve and vessels, lies in between the second and third. Very important. and these muscles, external intercostal, then internal intercostal, and then in the third layer there are three muscles. Like external intercostal, you can suppose external and intercostal they are brothers, and in the third layer they are sisters. Cis. So external intercostal, then internal intercostal, they are brothers. They are protecting their cis. That is the anteriorly sternocostalis. SIS, cis. Short form of sister is cis. So SIS, anteriorly sternocostalis. In the middle, but in the third layer, in the middle, laterally facing, there is innermost intercostal. I for innermost intercostal, and posteriorly there is subcostalis. So SIS. Sternocostalis, also known as transversus thoracis. Sternocostalis, then innermost intercostal, and then posteriorly there is subcostalis. Cis, protected by two brothers, that is external intercostal and then internal intercostal. Clear? And this arrangement is also very important, where it is going to be attached. External intercostal, this in yellow color. It is in between the inferior border, and we can see this is superior border and this is inferior border, like this. Superior border, this is superior border and this is inferior border. Inferior border is sharp and having the costal groove near about it. So it is broad, superior border is broad, and it has got two lip, outer lip and the inner lip. You can see here it clearly, and the inferior border is sharp. Costal groove is near about the inferior border, very much clear. This, the outermost, the external intercostal, it is in between the lower border and the outer lip, very clear. This is inner lip and this is outer lip. So in between the lower border and the outer lip, external intercostal, and this is internal intercostal. In between the floor of the costal groove, this white one is the costal groove, and in between the floor of the costal groove going to the inner lip. This is inner lip, so going to inner lip, and this is innermost intercostal. It is just above the costal groove. You can see here very clearly, above the costal groove and going to the inner surface. This is the inner surface of the rib, above the costal groove, inner surface. So these are the arrangement of the muscles. And this is sacrum, which is formed by the fusion of the 5 sacral vertebrae. And this much is coccyx, which is formed by the fusion of 4 coccygeal vertebrae. Here it is forming the costovertebral joint here in between the rib and the vertebra, costovertebral joint, and in between the transverse process and the rib, costotransverse joint. Both are gliding variety of synovial joint, gliding variety. So this is about the